Welcome back, everyone, and a big welcome to the new player who will be joining us for at least tonight's session. And tonight, the seventh session of the Castle in the Clouds finds Sir Pierre having upgraded his abilities and is now level 3 heading in to this mission. Dex and the new player Sinbound are still level 1. So this encounter, the totality of everything, will be balanced for roughly level 1.5 characters. A little bit tougher than a level 1 character can handle, but definitely easier than a party full of level 2s could handle. So that is, where the balancing factor is here, just to give the players and anyone watching along an idea of how tough this should be so that you can react accordingly when you encounter, what is to come. Today,
Stay behind me.
yeah, today you guys find yourselves floating over a vast desert planet. There is sand as far as the eye can see. And so, because you guys are still lower level, but Sir Pierre has been appointed as a sort of field leader.
I'm a knight.
Yeah, you're like the lieutenant or sergeant to lead these rookie recruits in finding treasures and supplies, raw materials, because anyone joining us should know that the Castle in the Clouds is a massive city that was teleported out of a dying universe, but something went wrong with the magic from a ritual that strong, and it began randomly teleporting to different worlds, different parallel universes and realities. And now the wizards, the mages, and other, spellcasters who are keeping everything running need tons of raw materials to convert into spell components and power that they can use to produce food and, protection spells and everything else. So they'll send these heroes out with little buffer spells on them that allow them to feather fall down to the ground and things of that nature. Usually they have a small token that will teleport them back to the castle as well. That's just kind of given out to all of the field leaders so that they can get everybody back home safely if they need to. So that's what everybody is doing
I
is
have that now?
yes.
I have a. Okay, awesome.
Yes, so now you are in charge of if anything goes wrong, you need to activate your magical item, this teleport token that will bring you back to the castle in the clouds, and anybody in your 10-foot circle back to the castle in the clouds. But that is
Okay.
literally only the people who are attuned to the castle in the clouds. So
Okay.
you can't accidentally bring back the devil.
But that'd be awesome because I could be like, guys, I'll lure the devil within 10 feet of me, and then I'll click this button and then shoot at this spot at exactly 10:08.
Yeah. So you guys land and begin walking. There's not a whole lot of features. And so you guys didn't have the opportunity to really, do as much reconnaissance and figure out exactly where to go. So everybody just kind of picked a direction and started walking. And as you guys are walking, Sir Pierre, you notice that the rough sand is kind of grating on your moving parts and everything to an extent. And Dex and Sinbound, you guys notice that it is hot. Like stupid hot. Like the desert level in Super Mario 3 hot, where the sun is just angry at you and trying to kill you. And so you are getting dehydrated even though you have water skins on you and you're taking drinks. It is not quenching your thirst as much as it would in a non stifling environment like the one that you're in. You guys are ill prepared for this type of environment as well. Just because the castle in the clouds is kept very, temperate. You guys are given slight buffer spells that make it to where you don't just um, take like fire damage or cold damage if you're on like an elemental plane, but there's very little that they can do about the actual physicality of just dehydrating. So, um, right now, after walking a long time, each of you has to make a constitution save to avoid taking one level of exhaustion for the rest of this encounter. And Sir Pierre, that level of exhaustion is not based off of actual like stamina, because as a machine man you can just, you know, bend girders all day, but you are.
I'm immune to exhaustion.
Oh, you're completely immune to it? Then never mind. Uh,
Yeah.
so I had it in my head that you would be immune to regular exhaustion anyway, but that this was like not exhaustion of the sort of like stamina drain, but actual sand getting in your moving parts, making it more irritating for you to just do anything. But
Okay, so I'll roll
But no,
that.
no, because we play by raw here on the Castle in the Clouds. So if you are a Warforged immune to exhaustion, no DM fiat will be used to make you not immune to this exhaustion.
Awesome.
Unless it is like a world boss type of thing that is like draining your soul or some, thing
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
as soon as it gets magical, I think it gets a little weird.
Yeah, once we're talking about that kind of thing, I'm willing to bend the raw in order to make the encounter exciting and dynamic and challenging for everyone. But for ordinary sand, like, no, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're immune to exhaustion. Well, not today. So your two partners, however, your charges, if you will, are noticeably drinking their water skins faster than normal, and you spot a oasis, at least you hope it's an oasis, up in the distance. So the other two of you go ahead and make the Constitution saves, because you still might take one level of exhaustion. However, um, Sir Pierre, you're good.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sinbound, if you go to the bottom of the chat bar there, you'll see as, and then if you select your character name, it'll be like how Dex there, how it pops up with his token picture
Wow.
and all that. Yeah, he nailed it right off the bat. Or as some of the glass half empty players look at it, you wasted your crit right off the bat.
Right? No, it's he's gonna have more of those.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing, in my esteem. I'm a
'Cause
health bar is half full kind of guy, but
his whole job is to gain advantage. Like that's his like rogues, that's their whole job. Gain advantage in this fight.
well, the cons, yeah, oh, right, right, I see what you're saying, because the exhaustion wouldn't help with that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because this
No,
isn't
I mean like
yeah, this isn't initiative yet, but yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so I fixed Sinbound's character sheet there quick because it auto rolled 2d20. Now, the next time you roll something, it'll prompt you for advantage or disadvantage. But your 21 was your first roll, so that's the one that we go with. Doesn't matter anyway. 18 was way more than enough. This was a simple difficulty class 10, just to make sure that everybody came prepared to play some football. Yeah. All
Nice.
all right. So as you approach the oasis, everybody roll perception. Michael rolled so high on perception, he was like, I'm out of here.
It apparently kicked him out.
Yeah, it happens from time to time. Oh, Sinbound, at the bottom of the chat, it says as. Just click on that drop down bar and select Sinbound, please. And then, Michael, in case you missed it, roll for perception.
For some reason, he has access to like all the characters.
He has the ability to see their journals, just as everybody else
Oh.
does.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I hadn't looked at mine yet.
Yeah, no, he can't control them, so no worries.
I got
Okay.
perception.
You do.
So I think I'm the only one that saw anything.
It's a good thing
Wait,
we
did
have
I
them.
see
We
anything?
have our night.
Well, wisdom isn't a rogue or whatchamacallit. Or
Yeah.
sorcerer thing.
Yeah,
It'd
exactly.
be weird if I went low.
And then, Michael, I know you remembered last time, but don't forget that every time it kicks you and you log back in, you have to select the as again. And I appreciate
just
you
did it for
already
me.
having remembered before, so thank you. All right, so Sir Pierre, your machine eyes can see through the mirage as it is unaffected by the heat waves as much as the mortal eyes of Dex and Sin. And so all they see is a wavy haze in the distance. You, on the other hand, see through that and see a pack, a small pack, but still a pack of hyenas already at this water hole, um, getting a drink and quenching their thirst. So as you approach, you have the option of, knowing that there is something up ahead and setting your marching order and, all of that good stuff.
We'll definitely set our marching order first of all, and then I might do something before like the fight starts.
So is that
What's
the
your
is that the marching order you want? Is the rogue and the sorcerer in front with the forge cleric hiding behind, or
No.
I just wanted to make sure,
I was just looking at my spells real quick. I was like, I might do something before.
Oh, for sure.
Bef before uh the thing starts, can I what do I want to cast? I want to cast something.
Well, now
Can I
and
cast?
oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you because
It's okay.
I want to, get you set up to do whatever you want to do, but for Michael and Sin's benefit, I want to make sure that I reiterate that this is always going to be a dynamic game with all kinds of options. And you were there when Nare was, using the thaumaturgy in order to scare away the frogs and all of that. So you know that there are non-combat options for dealing with stuff like this. But I want the newer players and anybody watching at home to understand that just because there are tokens with red bars above their head on the map does not mean that the only option is to roll for initiative and fight until the last man drops. So with that in mind, what were you going to ask what you wanted to cast?
Hold on just a second. I'm thinking I don't know. I don't have thaumaturgy. I think that would work for the hyenas.
Right, but that's just one possible
Yeah.
solution that Naure had come up with, to use there. There's not always going to be an obvious answer, but even if I didn't consider an option, if you come up with something clever, it becomes an option as well.
Right. I guess I just can you cast Searing Smite on a weapon you're gonna throw?
Searing Smite, I'm pretty sure Searing Smite says that it has to be a weapon you hold in your hands, but I don't think it specifies that it has to be a melee weapon or
I
that you
think it
can't
does
throw it.
mean it has.
It does say
I mean, it
melee.
is
Let
it
me
does
take
say
a
it
look.
has to be a melee weapon, but I can use a spear as a melee weapon. You
Yeah,
know what I
I
mean?
mean as long as it is a melee weapon, then I don't
Yeah.
think
The
I don't think
next
it says that you can't throw it. I'm gonna just look it up right now though, just to
It
make
says
sure.
the next time you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack during the spell's duration, your
Oh,
weapon
then
flares.
then there it is.
Yada
So
yada.
so you have to use it to make a melee weapon attack. Not just it has to be a melee weapon, you must make a melee attack with it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, well then in that case, what's your what's your AC, Patrick?
I can dodge really well.
Yeah, but what is it?
Are we role playing this out, or do you really want to know?
Yeah, that's a
I
very valid question, Sin. Yeah,
I
exactly.
we
Like,
can role play it out.
you know,
We can role play it
if you
out, but
want
it is
if you
kind of
want the
blue if I
metagame
know.
knowledge as players, I'm not going to stop you from sharing that. But as Sin, just pointed out, if you want to role play it as characters, I'm never going to make you, you know, do any of that either. Also, I'm relatively certain that because you can see his journal, you should be able to see some stuff, or maybe just the bio. If it's just the bio, then,
Oh,
you know,
I haven't checked that yet.
yeah. So just saying that if it's that important and you really want to know, you might be able to check, but it's up to each player to decide how much of their
Oh yeah. I
information they
I
want
was
to
just
share.
wondering if you wanted to get hit with a shield of faith.
So, my character, if you want to role play it out, I'm literally wearing basically robes, and I have hardened scales that cover most of my body, and that's about it. Other than that, I've got a little spell pouch book, probably a little tiny knapsack bag thing on me, and a dagger.
Oh. Yeah, you okay, yeah, I'll place a shield of faith on you.
Hold on one second. I'm looking up Shield of Faith because
It
just
says
plus
range
two
up to
plus
60
two
feet.
bonus. No, it wasn't that. I just wanted to make sure because
Oh,
some of
okay.
those spells like Mage Armor give you a new calculation for your armor. So rather than
Oh,
adding to your armor class, it just changes what your base armor class would start from. So it might go up or down or have no effect, and it's important to know that before you were to use a spell
oh,
slot or something like that.
yes, very much so. Okay. Well, then I will not use it for
No,
that. I'm gonna use
no.
it on me.
Shield of Faith is great because it just gives you a straight plus two. Just
Oh,
letting you know that if it was mage armor, then you would have to figure out whether or not it was going to increase or decrease your armor,
yeah.
or if it would just make it the same. Then of course it's the same as if it would decrease it. Like
Yes.
no need to spend a spell slot to be like, and now my armor is magical.
So I'm looking a little confused there, Sir Pierre, flipping through his books and notes and stuff, and there's a big old watering hole over there, and we're sitting here thirsty, going, can we go get a?
I'm saying no, there's hyenas down there. I
Oh,
mean, do you want to go say hi to them? Like we could tame them.
And did you still want to use one of your first level spell slots to help out Sin there? Because as I was stating, the +2 does help him.
Oh yes.
Well, her.
Yes.
Her. I'm sorry, character, not player.
Okay, Devin,
Yeah.
we can try to tame them, but if they don't want to be tamed, then we either regroup or we.
I mean,
I-
Michael, you're way smarter than me. I feel like why are you telling me that we should tame them? I'm dumb. I'm asking you if we should tame them.
You know,
You should definitely say no.
alright. But here's the thing. I'm gonna stay back here because I'm the one with the archer.
Yeah, you should stay back there.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna snipe them from here.
So I guess I just yell at them and be like, "Yo, what up? I'm Sir Pierre, and I'm like totally taking over this watering hole for a minute. You best stay back."
Okay, just to clarify, I didn't know, were you going to or not going to cast Shield of Faith? Because before we begin, I want to get
Oh.
everything set. You cast it on
Yes.
yourself. That is canon, done and done. And of course, you have your +1 on your armor, as always, for a total
Yeah.
of +3.
Okay, I'm gonna.
But are you going to cast Shield of Faith on Sin because she can still benefit from it?
Yes. I'm casting it on Sinbound.
Excellent. So you now have -2 of your first level spell slots, of which you have 4 now.
Wait, what?
Is it,
No,
this
no,
is
no,
a
no. I only cast it on him. I thought.
only on her. Okay, so not
Yeah.
not
Oh,
on
only him,
yourself.
yeah.
Okay, because you had said
Yeah, 'cause
yourself for a
it's
second there.
concentration.
Right.
It's a
Oh,
concentration I can do too.
is it a creature
Yeah.
choice? For range up to 10 minutes concentration. Got you. Yep. So you cast it on her. Sin, your armor class is now 18. You don't need to adjust that for right now. You can just, remember that it's +2. Yeah.
I will
So now
definitely remind you.
now we're gonna see if these hyenas notice you approaching and what their disposition is
I'm-
towards you shouting at them.
I'm shouting at them. I'm being like, "We're totally taking over this watering hole. Get out of here."
Wait, but first we need to roll to see who goes first.
That will happen after they notice you, which is why I'm rolling perception for them before you begin shouting, to see if you begin shouting before they decide to attack or what they're going to do, or after.
Okay.
Can he make a intimidation check with his shouts?
Oh yeah, can I?
Once your turn is up, depending on if they notice you or not, yes.
Okay. And
Oh.
I'm not very stealthy.
Okay, so you go ahead and can be noticed and can roll initiative. New player Sinbound. If you click on your token, you will see a little button above that says initiative. And oh no, you only need to roll once, Dex.
Yeah, he accidentally rolled 3 times.
He was just rolling till he got a crit.
Wait, no, I only clicked on it once.
I know it
Exactly.
happens from time to time. Just a little glitch in the matrix.
What is happening?
Apparently his computer's going on the fritz. I'm using my sister's, so
One frame for a second.
mine is finally doing okay. Oh, yeah, Dex I don't think has a 23, does he?
No, it'll be 7. I'll get it fixed. It just,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go last.
unfortunately.
Last. Oh, all the way last?
Yeah, his name is kind of like a pun at this point for this initiative, like Little John. Don't be fooled, in real life, I'm quite large.
Oh.
So before you begin shouting, the first hyena notices you and begins cackling at his fellow hyenas and they all perk up and look at you, and he begins to circle around the water hole to try and get at you.
Nice. I'll drown a couple.
Pretty sure their movement's 40. Double checking that real quick. 50. Ooh. So he's not going to dash because hyenas are not that kind of, predator. They're
He's
more,
skittish.
yeah, they're more scavengers, and they're looking to use group bully tactics to either drive you off or single one of you
Separate
out
us.
and take you down.
Yeah, they're gonna try to separate us. I'm hoping it's me.
Yeah. And unlike lions, who would, circle around the other way and set up a trap, again, they all approach in one large mob, like a swarm almost. Just letting everybody kind of know, what tactics are being used. I'm not going to do this for
Yeah.
you guys every
Yeah,
time.
Yeah. I
You
was
know,
like, there was just thinking they're smart enough, but I feel like they're still skittish, and since there's three of us, they probably would stay together.
especially because there's three of you and you're quite large. If they outnumbered you greatly,
Right.
maybe a different story. But, with this, they're still going to try to bully you off. But it's not like they're going to use advanced tactics or try to encircle you because they have larger numbers. They're just going to come at you straight on and try and drive you off through intimidation. And just to finish what I was saying, I'm not going to do this for you guys every time, especially with creatures that you would be way less familiar with. But these are simple hyenas that I learned about in, middle school. So I'm pretty sure that, you guys would have a general understanding of what's going on.
Do run fast. So that's why I come in, because since I'm not so big, so I'm swift like an assassin, so I can run fast.
You run the same speed as me, pal.
Yes, but in the opposite direction.
Yes, but in the opposite direction, exactly. And that's what counts.
Oh, and just a quick note for you, Sin. I have a 300-second timer for everybody's turn. Gives everybody 5 minutes to kind of, figure out what they want to do and take their turn, just to keep the flow of combat moving, because the last thing anybody wants is to, have everything just bogged down. It's not a pressure situation. If you need some help figuring out what to do, what your options are, by all means, just ask. But, just to let you know how it works, it's just a little 5-minute timer to help keep things flowing.
If you
How
have
do you,
thaumaturgy, that'd be great.
How do you find or pull up that arrow that shows you like how far distance is?
So there's a little circle that looks like a rotated Q. That's actually a ruler inside of a circle there, and if you click on that, then you can measure out anything. Yeah, there you go. You got it. Either you or Michael really should change your token color so that we can tell the difference between which one of you is doing what. Perfect.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, please don't make it be Michael. He's so
I'm gonna cast create bonfire right there. It's a 5 foot
Oh,
cantrip.
I know what it is.
Gonna try and
It's
scare
this.
him to go. Yeah, scare him to go the other way.
Yeah. No, that is something that is used often enough to where I have something ready to go. And just to show you how this works, I'm gonna turn off the sun for a second. See? It even casts light and everything.
That's awesome. That's a good cantrip.
So yeah, basically, Sin starts, chanting and cackling herself as the hyenas start to approach, and throws even more heat in her direction.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to see when you're already in the middle of the desert. So I am going to, allow that to basically count as help for Sir Pierre to make his intimidate check, which will be made at advantage now because of that. And then, of course, any hyena trying to pass through there is going to take fire damage, so they're going to have to go around. So at the very least, you cut off the most direct route to you.
Yes.
And then I forgot that you are. Oh, I don't even have it set up in this one. So yeah, just if that's your turn, go ahead and either click done in the chat, or if it is no longer visible, um, just let me know that your turn is done and I'll end your turn. Next week we're going to have an actual macro that will let you end your turn. I forgot that I didn't have it set up in this one because I was not setting up all of the macros that I normally use, but as we continue on, I'm gonna, add a little bit more each week. So you'll slowly but surely be getting the same quality of game as all the rest of my players, just not as quickly, as they get. So this one comes and joins its companion here, but is starting to get a little nervous about that fire up ahead. So technically those bushes there would count as rough terrain. So you're either going to need to move around them, or that will lessen your movement by
I think I only went
one square.
25 in these.
Yep. So, yep. Just one square less, 25 feet, not 30. Perfect.
Awesome. And then I'll try to.
At which, remember, advantage because of the fire.
Yes.
The dread pirate Robert is here
Oh,
for your
wow.
souls. But
It didn't work out.
it did not work out because, unfortunately, Sir Pierre forgot that he's not dealing with things that can speak English. So he's just out there going blah, 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 to the hyena's perspective. And although they're definitely not loving the fire, it's more of a threatening gesture than an intimidating one. And they're not going to take that, sitting down.
Is that my whole turn?
Well, I mean, what you can
Is
use,
that my
you can
action, I mean?
no. Okay. I was gonna say, like, you can use whatever, amount of your turn that you want. So I'm not here to tell you if that's your turn. Your action, no. That is a bonus action to try and use intimidate like that. So you just can't use any bonus actions.
Okay.
Now, if you were doing a more complex intimidate, I might rule that it takes a actual action. You know.
Okay.
Like if you were like,
I
I run up
will.
to the flames and pick them up with my metal hands and start, waving them around and trying to intimidate, then I'd be like, okay, that's your action.
Right. Yeah, but there's no such thing as double advantage, so.
Right, right, right.
Or else I might do that. Oh,
Ooh, crit time. So,
on the closest one.
yep. So, you cast Guiding Bolt, and a flash of light streaks towards the hyena in the lead there, hitting it and killing it instantly by like a factor of almost 4. No, almost 5. And so it is dead. Even just the regular damage would have killed it. The crit damage basically double kills it, and well, triple kills it because it was already doubled. It was already dead from the first one. So basically, your light bursts into the hyena and it lifts off the ground momentarily before exploding in a shower of holy radiance.
And blood.
Yeah, yeah, definitely some pink mist going on there. Oh, and anyone who wants to attack it has advantage.
Oh yeah, if you want to attack it, it has advantage.
You'll get advantage on the attack, so swing at the mist as it's still falling.
Someone crits the mist.
Then I'm
You
gonna
take
use
it so.
short bow. Then I'm
The nimble changeling pulls his short bow and draws an arrow, striking the next hyena in line there.
uh-huh.
You said yeah.
Yep, striking the hyena. You can go ahead and describe how the arrow hits and kills it if you want, or I will.
He wants you to do it.
No problem. No problem. As you pull back on the string, steadying your arm that is holding the bow so that you can get lined up for the perfect shot, you slowly let your breath out. And right at the moment between when your breath stops letting out and you draw a new one, you slowly release the tension on your fingers holding the string taut and allow the arrow to fly free from your grip. As it shoots past your arm, you feel the slight pressure of the flight as it rubs against your archer's brace, I think it's called. Basically, it is a piece of leather that protects your arm from the bowstring and all of that. And you can feel the slight pressure of the air moving past as it brushes just ever so slightly against your archer's gauntlet. And you know instantly that this arrow will find its home deep in the heart and lungs of the hyena as it turns to the side to approach Sir Pierre. It falls over, its body heaving one time as it draws one big breath, and then it deflates like a whoopee cushion into a dead pile of ex-hyena. And then if you want to move any of your remaining movement or anything else, otherwise you can go ahead and click done. Yeah, I don't think that hyena's going to get a turn. This one still will, though. which it uses to move 10 feet up to its next closest compatriot, but seeing that the lead hyena is dead and the second is dead, it is more moving up for a defensive stance than an offensive one. So instead of continuing to approach, it moves up to the next hyena in line and is basically like communicating that they need to take a fighting withdrawal between them. Again, you guys wouldn't know this, just offhand, and I wouldn't normally describe it, but for the new players, I want them to understand how I handle tactics so that when I'm doing more advanced creatures, you at least have some insight. And since these are such simple creatures that you easily could have learned about at any point, I don't see the need to make you roll to, figure all of this out.
Sin is gonna look and see two dead hyenas and figure, well, I guess we're gonna try and take them out and not scare them off anymore. So she's gonna go ahead and loose a firebolt over here at.
Yep. Just from a meta game standpoint, the other hyena would still get a turn this round, in between you and your allies, but that again, meta game knowledge, and I heard you loud and clear that you like to keep it a little more, in game and immersive and all of that. So I'm not going to point that out ever again. Just one time as a new player, just going to point out that the other hyena is the one who still has a turn.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and whip my arm around and blow across the palm of my hand and shoot a blazing blast of fiery energy across the field and hit this one. I just figured it was the closest one, so I went for it.
Absolutely. There's never going to be a time where I'm going to tell you what you can or can't or have to do or anything like that. Just like I said, one time as a new player, give you the tactical, advice, and then because you've now clarified that you meant what you said, I will never, pressure you like that again. Oh my God, really? What, do you just have it set to just roll 20?
Oh my gosh, dude, we're just murdering these guys.
Don't
These
say
hyenas
that, because
didn't
then when we
know.
need to make the roll, it's going to come out crit 1.
Yeah.
These poor hyenas within 6 seconds.
Yeah, no, exactly. They were like, "Hey, what do we got here? Go away." And you were like, no, that's what you'll be doing." Move or be moved.
For real.
So is that your turn then, Sin?
Yep, that'll be it.
Okay, so I'm gonna end your turn, and like I said, next week there will be a button for that.
This hyena's just gonna die. I feel so bad.
Oh no, now he is gonna use dash.
Oh yeah, we're never gonna see this hyena again. Bye,
And he's
hyena.
off the map. So you guys
Right.
can chase it down, but it ran 100 feet, and
Got it.
yeah, the most any of you can get is
Like 2 seconds.
60 feet. So
60.
I'm all excited to just get a drink of water.
I almost decided to take a bath. You guys having fun?
okay, so the combat has stopped, and you guys are free to do your non-combat thing.
I'll stop my concentration on the bonfire.
I won't stop my concentration on the Shield of Faith. Just get some water real quick, guys. Let's keep moving. We got 10 minutes on this Shield of Faith thing.
Very true. Luckily, that was only, 6 seconds of combat, but still.
Forced march. So where are we going next,
Yeah,
Pierre? What are we looking for here?
Still going
Anything.
straight, man.
Yeah, anything.
Anything.
You guys just took a direction and all that. So now, you guys head off, and as you walk on, it gets to be about midday, and you are so grateful that Sir Pierre made you stop and refill your water skins, because now, at the hottest part of the day, you are just dying and once again out of water. That's right. By half a day, you have drinking 2 water skins, or roughly half a gallon of water, and
Well,
you are still.
I have a water skin. Can that help them a little bit?
Oh, of course. Yeah, you can give up your water, and then you'll die of thirst. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously,
I don't
you're
need
good.
water.
Yeah, you're good.
Yes, I don't need food or water.
Anybody got a dowsing rod?
Right?
You got the what?
A dowsing rod, ancient, well, I shouldn't say ancient because people still use them to this day, but a superstitious item that is said to be able to divine where water is by holding it in your hands, and then the stick will move when there's water.
I mean, that's nuts.
I'm gonna go in.
Don't go in. I mean, wait. Actually, you probably can. You're pretty charismatic.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in, but not as far as the guards can see me.
No, we should announce ourselves, Michael. These are people over here.
I mean, you are a metal
Hey.
man.
I'm announcing myself. I'm like, hey guys, coming up on Anya. No need for any violence. We just want water.
Oh,
Also, I
yes.
could like.
Just to reiterate for anyone new, new players, new viewers, all of that, you guys, one of the buffs that are cast on you anytime you go anywhere is comprehend languages, so that you basically have universal translators. As you approach, before you get that close, the guards step forward and brandish halberds and
Right
say,
here.
yeah, that's good. And say, who
Back
goes
up.
there?
It's it's me, Sir Pierre. This is Dex. This is
Never heard of
Silverbound.
you. What business have you here?
We're just passing through. We need water.
What do you have to barter for this water?
What? How much is water here? I mean, like, I don't want to get scammed.
Well, if you want one of our water skins, you'll need to provide us with 1 day's worth of food, or something else
Okay.
that we would need or value.
I give them. I have 10 days of food in my.
Okay. So with your 10 days of food, what are you trying to offer in exchange for what? Hello?
He may have crashed.
Oh, sorry. That was
So what are you trying to trade for what? I mean, obviously you want the water, but how many of each are you trying to trade for how many of each? Because that will determine how this, goes.
I haven't figured out my inventory yet, so I'm not sure what I've got exactly to barter.
You would have 10 days worth of rations. Everybody has 10 days worth of rations when they start, and Sir Pierre doesn't eat. So
I say I pull out a day's worth of rations and say I could really use a water skin in exchange.
the guard nods to one of the many merchants who are also along in this caravan, and they pull out several water skins made from the, hide of a animal that you don't recognize, or at least covered, I should say, in the hide of an animal. Obviously, we all know water skins are made out of bladders and other watertight organs like that, but the covering is the hide of some animal that you don't quite recognize. It looks to be, furry like a large cat of some kind, but the markings are strange and nothing you've ever seen before.
Is this like a horse to you?
They say no. This is made from the skin of the great white spotted lion.
Oh, cool.
Basically,
Anyway, I have these.
it's a giant lion that looks kind of like a snow leopard.
Yeah. I have these 3 jugs. They're worth 5 gold each. They're pretty ornate. Do you have any interest in them?
Gold?
I mean, oh, it's worth you tell me what it's worth.
Uh,
3 jugs. They're pretty ornate. They're pretty cool.
I mean, we don't have much use for them other than storing stuff in, so I guess we would give you, you know, a half a ration of water each.
So 1.5 water skins? Cool.
Yeah.
Just fill up one of their water skins halfway and then give us another water skin.
Okay. So
Nice.
Dex, your water skin is now half full.
Did they accept my ration trade?
They did.
I'll probably do like 3 of my rations for 3 water skins.
Yep, and they're willing to trade at an equal amount because basically the way it works is you only need to eat one ration a day to like survive, 2 rations a day to avoid exhaustion, and 3 rations a day in order to avoid or not avoid, in order to counteract exhaustion and other effects of starvation, and that you need to get 3 square meals a day in order to do all of that. So but the rations are broken down into those categories, basically, to where if you use up one whole ration in a day, that is your 3 meals worth of rations. Otherwise, the way that I do it, when it's not one whole day's worth of rations and you're just eating one ration, whatever one person wants to spend one ration, that's enough to spread amongst the group, because there will usually never be more than 6 players. So even though it is stretching it, oh no, so yeah, you'd get 3. So you get 3 of the players to eat one ration, and then somebody else can give up a ration to get the other 3. So right now, with you guys having 3, 1 ration covers all of you for the day if you're here, just to avoid starving and all of that. And then 2 rations would give you guys the ability to avoid any exhaustion if you took a rest. And if any of you had exhaustion from whatever and you needed to recoup, 3 rations would be enough for all of you to do that. Just to make sure that we're clear on that. But the water, on the other hand, it takes, in heat like this, 3 full water skins per day to avoid exhaustion. Basically a gallon and a half of water.
Each? For each one of them?
Or I'm sorry, 3/4 of a gallon of water. My math got messed up. Yes. And that's why they're willing to make that deal, because the food lasts. They can make the food stretch so much more than the water. Plus, these guys control a natural spring, so it's nothing to them.
I asked if they happen to have a map of other like oasis and things around here, so that we can kind of plan our.
One of the merchants looks at you slyly, asking around about things like that, and he approaches and very discreetly motions you over to talk behind one of the tents. And if you follow, he...
Just him?
Just her.
Can I?
Oh yeah, my bad.
Find his intent if he's, if
Yeah.
this is a bad move, or if he's, does he have that look in his eye like I'm gonna get stabbed?
Yeah. So go ahead and roll insight. So it's pretty obvious what this guy has in mind. So the difficulty class was not very high. And you can tell that he thinks he can get a little kiss in exchange for giving you a map. And just for the record, because there is a minor here and everything, like, I am not trying to be crude or, graphic in any way, just being a little realistic about, some guys are like that, and this is one of the creeps that thinks that he's gonna, take advantage of the female and exchange a map.
Oh crap. We're about to fight these guys.
Say no.
That's good advice, Michael.
I tell him that if he has a map that he can share, then he can share it with us right here.
He kind of says, "Oh no, this map is just for you."
I can hear this, right?
As a Warforged, I'll let you roll with advantage because you would be able to kind of adjust to hear what's going on over there by changing your configuration just a little. Basically, you cup the armor around your one ear a little bit and shut off the other one.
Wait, can I listen?
Oh, good thing I had advantage.
Is about like assassinating people, since I need to hear like really well.
Yeah, as a nimble changeling who is a little sneaky and devious, I think that you can roll for stealth to see if you're able to kind of hide around the corner of one of the tents just close enough to be able to hear without drawing attention to yourself. And Sir Pierre, yeah, you hear everything.
I kind of look him in the eye and say, if it's something that's only for me, then it's not going to benefit the party much at all. But if you'd like to share what you would like to share what you have there, I'm willing to trade a ration for the information.
He looks at you and kind of looks down at what you can now see as a rather rotund potbelly and kind of smirks, indicating that he's got all the food he needs.
Do you guys have magic stuff?
Not that would be of any use, really.
I mean,
I'm just
like,
asking. I'm asking one of the other
yeah,
guards.
yeah. They're like, what?
Do you know what magic stuff is?
I mean, there's items of legend that, exist, but we are royal guards, not like magicians.
It's not magicians. I'm not that smart, but I know it's not called magicians.
Wait, so the Dragon Master.
Yes?
So I see
He
there's
called you the Dragon Master.
I see that the guards are guarding a princess. What's that all about?
That's about the princess being very important to them, so they try to keep her safe from attackers.
Okay, can I tell them that there's someone trying to mess with our friend?
One of them is like right there. Like they're right next to each other, dude. They know. Oh wait, it's a different dude? A
Yeah.
merchant coming out of a different tent?
Yes. This is just a regular, merchant. It's not a combatant, so it's just some guy. He's not small. There you go.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even see him.
He wasn't there before because it wasn't important for him to be represented on the thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I just didn't know. My bad.
No, it's all
I
good.
thought one of the guards said that.
Nope, all good. Definitely wanted to clarify that, so now it is.
Well, then I'll go over there and I will give her the help action, like if she's doing an intimidate check.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I pull out my little dagger and start tapping it on my arm and making the little clanging sounds and go, I could really use the information, and it's not going to go the way you like. So I think that it would be better if we just bartered it out.
Upon seeing the dagger come out, the merchant begins to back up, bumping into the nimble changeling who leaps into the way, and now is trapped between the two of you and begins to shout panically. But you guys get the initiative, so.
I definitely tell him that I'm not interested in harming him. I just don't want him to harm me in retaliation.
We could probably maybe talk. Wait, everybody rolled an 8, dude.
I know it's crazy. It'll sort it by the highest dex and everything though, so no worries. And then Dex, Sir Pierre, Sin. Go ahead and roll your initiative, because no matter what's going to happen, it's going to happen in initiative order now. Again, dynamic world, anything can happen here, but now that there is palpable danger that weapons have been drawn and all that, we're going to take it in initiative order. Sorry, my voice is breaking a little. For anyone who hasn't been informed, I am on my chemotherapy treatment right now, so it kind of has an adverse effect on things like my voice a little bit. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
Wait.
So I look at the peasant and I say, I want to trade for this information. You're not going to get any advantage over me for it. I'm willing to pay a fair price, but it's going to have to do with items, not a person. And I continue tapping my dagger on my arm and say, I am willing to defend myself, to defend my honor. You're not going to take that from me. Can I make an intimidation check?
Absolutely. And in fact, because of the
Did I
way,
give it advantage?
yeah, well, first of all, you're standing next to him, so the help action was already applied. But also, just to let the new player know, because of the role playing of all of that, I was going to give you advantage anyway, even if Sir Pierre hadn't been there, because you managed to say everything in a manner that both conveyed exactly your intent and ability to defend yourself, as well as the fact that this was not a fight for your life scenario, that he has an option to not engage in combat. So it is extra effective when you use that kind of intimidate.
Plus, I'm right behind him, so if he tries to pull anything, I can just do something.
Oh yeah, you would have gotten advantage from Dex being back there and him bumping into him and feeling trapped as well. Excellent point, Michael. Thank you. All right, the peasant is very intimidated and uh, seems to, feel a little chagrin at, having attempted to take advantage of such a obviously capable adventurer as yourself. And so he kind of quickly is like, let's just forget the whole thing.
I'll step away and I'll go ask the guard the same thing. I say, would you happen to have any kind of outline information that could be of benefit to us so that we can continue on our way and leave you guys in your camp in peace?
Well,
We're
wait.
willing to barter for the information.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Wait for your turn, please, Dex. You can talk at any time. You can talk at any time, but don't move until it's your turn.
Yes, go back behind the peasant.
Sorry about that, Sin. Go ahead and continue with what you were saying to the guard.
So yeah, I'm just curious, so that we can get out of their way and let them continue on their way. We just need some basic information about the surrounding areas so that we can, plan our next, hop and be able to get there safely and leave them in peace.
All right. And so reacting to what just went down, one of the guards kind of lowers his halberd and steps to just a little over 5 feet away from you and says, "You go ahead and drop your weapon."
I go ahead and drop my weapon. I'm not here to cause problems.
Yep. Excellent. And then is that your turn?
Yep.
So I say, I don't know. Ooh. So did you even have the map in the first place, peasant? Or are you just trying to get some kisses? Like, what's going on? Like, you just a weirdo?
He looks at you and you can tell that like he's done with you and he's gonna walk away without even answering you.
Oh, I see.
Kill him.
Michael.
Don't you turn your back to me.
Yeah, something like that. Oh,
Just at least kidnap him.
yeah, I'm just gonna grapple him. That's a good idea, Michael.
Tell me what you know.
Does he beat a 17?
We're about to find out.
He has 5.
That would go to the attacker, which is you.
Awesome. So he's grappled.
He is.
I'm gonna ask him the same thing. Like, dude, you're gonna give me that map now. Like, if you got a map, you're giving it to me.
Oh, now we see the violence inherent in the system. Come and see the violence inherent in the system.
What?
Help, help, I'm being repressed.
Oh, now he's just screaming for help?
Yep.
Wow.
And the guards are gonna come, and we're gonna have to kill him.
Wait, has it been more than 10 minutes? Is my Shield of Faith still on Sinbound?
No, it is not still on Simbound.
Okay.
But you could have recast it as you approached.
And the guards can.
Oh, no. I was just checking if it
No
was.
problem. Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to, clarify that I wasn't going to say, oh, no, it's too late and you have to spend one of your turns. You just would have to spend one of your spell slots.
Yeah. It's the guard's turn.
Oh, yes, I am aware. That's what's so great about this little, macro that does the turn order and all of that. Big shout out to Robin. Gonna pronounce his or her last name terribly, Kuiper. But they make the API script that runs this combat tracker and the status info to where I can just click the little icon and it gives you the grappled and tells you what all goes on with that. So, definitely some of the most useful APIs on Roll20 for running a professional level game like this. And just wanted to give him a shout out. I'm a patron of his. I donate to him every month because I honestly wouldn't be able to run paid games without the work of guys like that. Or girls. I, again, not trying to assume gender.
Yeah.
So this guard now.
When I grappled him, I just threw him over my shoulder.
Okay, so this guard now seeing that rushes up and puts their halberd down at you and says, "Drop the merchant." Gonna go ahead and pause his timer since he said he'd be right back.
Oh yeah, he had to go get a cracker or something. Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh yeah, no worries. That's what the timer is so good for is you can pause it if you need to, start it, stop it, all of that.
You got a problem?
He said he's like, "What's up? You got a problem?"
He says, "What are you trying to threaten me with crackers in your mouth? Tell your big dumb metal friend to put me down."
How about I put you down instead? Now I'm gonna take my short bow.
Oh no, he's scared now. When you say that, he looks at you like, "Oh no."
Do I got advantage?
You would if it
The
was
peasant?
if it was like normally like he was just grabbed, but because Sir Pierre said that he threw him up over his shoulder, there's an
No, I'm
equal
talking
chance.
about the guard. I'm talking about the guard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the peasant. Got you.
Oh, is the guard scared?
No, I thought that he was threatening the peasant with putting him down, because I thought you were talking to the peasant at first, so the peasant was saying, "Tell your big dumb metal friend to put me down." But the guard
Oh.
instead,
Yeah, because the
yeah,
guard was moving, so I was like, "What's up? You got a problem?"
yeah, no, totally. And so he's like, "Tell your friend to release the merchant."
All right. And I'm gonna say no because he just tried to do something funny. So I'm just gonna shoot at him. Dang, piercing 9. Attack 15.
Oh, geez.
Let's see
Well,
if
he
that
hit.
hits.
Did that hit?
It
'Cause a
does
15.
not hit. Between their armor and dexterity, you just managed to miss with the arrow glancing off of his shoulder plate guard.
Wait, am I within 5 feet of him? Oh, wait,
No,
it doesn't matter.
no,
It
and
doesn't matter
right, you
anymore.
would have to be straight flanking.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna end the turn. This other guy got a problem?
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much all have a problem with you, you know, doing what you're doing.
Yep. Oh, it's like, yep,
Well, if
they
he has a
all have
problem, he
problems.
has a
So this guard, now that Sin has dropped her weapon, her dagger, into the dirt, the sand, I should say. Um,
And have hands up.
yep, and hands up, is no longer like, ready to just stab Sin at the slightest provocation, but remains guarded enough to where he is basically taking the dodge action. So if anybody tries to attack him, it'll be at disadvantage, and uh, he just says, "All of you need to just leave right now." And the peasant starts kicking and screaming and trying to break free. And now he's the attacker.
Oh, dang.
Thus is no longer grappled and
Yep.
is going to um
Fall 7 feet.
yep, he falls to the ground, and he is going to uh simply move away from you, uh and I'm only going to allow him to move half of his movement because I'm going to rule that he had to stand up from prone as well.
Nice.
Oh, and he did move out of your threatened range, both you and Dex. So it is possible. Oh no, not Dex, just you. I forgot he was here. So you can take an opportunity attack as he moves, but be careful. This
Yes.
situation is very much at a tipping
Ooh,
point.
yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna punch him.
Just kill him, cause this.
I
was
feel
all
like
good
that's
stuff.
way better than trying to stab him.
You punch the peasant and can choose to deal non-lethal damage just knocking him out.
Oh, yes. Yes, non-lethal.
Yeah, just knock him out, cause this is all his fault.
Yep. So as he's walking away, you punch him so hard in the back of the head, he falls face down into the dirt, unconscious. Sand.
Nice. And that's the end of his turn.
I let out an audible sigh as I look at the guard and say, wouldn't it be in your best interest to help us out, get us out of your camp, and let everybody just kind of go about their business in a normal manner?
How about
Otherwise, are just not going to be, friendly and cordial between us. We're not going to, be able to continue working together.
how
I don't see why this would be such a bad thing to give us a direction.
how about we just do the last two, because as one of our most famous singers says, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
And I say that if we get in trouble and lost, we're just going to come back and cause more problems.
Oh, go ahead and do that. We'll stab you to death with our halberds.
But we are also willing to pay for the information. You stand to make a profit and gain from this situation.
Okay, 5 rations and we'll tell you which way to go.
I tell him I'll give him 2.
He says, good luck dying in the desert. Well, actually, if you want to roll persuasion, I would allow you to see how convincing you are. Little unfair, I think, to just hand wave that he's not interested at all. But they are, yeah, so the difficulty class was pretty high because they are like very not interested in dealing with you guys.
I look at Sir Pierre and say, should we just move on? We're not getting anywhere here, and we're wasting more water just sitting here drinking and thinking about it.
I think that we should not move on. I think that they have a lot more water, and we only have 2.5. That's not even enough for a full day for one of you. You know what I'm saying? Let's just knock these guys out, and let's take their water, maybe their princess. Who knows? Let's keep going. Let's keep this route moving.
Or we can threaten them hard enough so they will tell us to
Yes, I'm saying this loud enough. Does that count as an intimidation check? Me just saying that I'm going to take the princess
Once it's your turn, possibly.
Okay.
Although
Is the guard just beside himself at the moment, or what?
Yeah.
This guard has got to be peeing himself. Like, I just punched the dickens out of that man. I could have killed him.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, he watched you knock him out like you were Francis Ngannou, So he is definitely, or Mike Tyson for anybody a little less familiar with modern MMA fighters, and just to give you the analogy of you're basically huge and made of metal. It's like getting hit by a Mack truck, So the guard is definitely intimidated, but just to clarify, although I allow you to talk on your turn anytime,
I can't do an intimidate check.
Right.
Yeah, my bad. Oh.
Well, hold on just 1 second.
My turn?
I was just about to ask him that myself, just to ensure that he took his full turn.
Yeah, I if anything, I'm going to kind of walk back towards my friends. That's about it. That would be about the.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you should hold an action, because I don't think that talk was an action, was it?
Talking is free. But it's his choice what he wants her to do,
she can do whatever, like dodge action, just don't waste an action,
Well, moving back isn't a complete waste, because now at least she
no. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, you're right.
She is a little more, protected. The guard has to move up, can't get a full attack, yada, yada, yada.
And at the same time, he knows that we're moving away from him, not towards him.
Correct.
So
Correct.
Yeah.
Although you could be just moving into position to kick the peasant while he's down.
So is it my turn or no?
Now it is, yes.
Okay. Okay. I am going. Oh, yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my shield and have a warhammer in one hand and a long sword in the other, and I'm gonna go up to this guy, right? Wait, is Dex within 5 feet of him, or if
No.
not, then okay. Well, then I'll just go here, and then I will hit him with the warhammer.
You're gonna try.
Oh yes, very much so. Gonna try.
And as you do, once again, he manages to deflect the blow with a spinning maneuver from his halberd.
With my offhand, I will use the longsword.
Okay, so you swing and it's the full attack, but you would only get
Yeah,
the
yeah,
7
only
damage.
7 damage. Yes, but it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't
'cause
even
it's-
correct. So once again, kind of like the Red Viper of Dorne, he continues to dodge and spin around and get out of the way of your attacks.
And then after I'm done doing that, I'm like, fine, I guess I'll just have to magic you to death. You know, not very smart, just
Oh yeah?
saying stuff.
Well, take this. Never mind.
And that's
Yeah.
reach, so it's a disadvantage.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just be going now.
You're not going anywhere. I'm daggering you. Double dagger, actually.
Double dagger. Oh wait, no, get behind him so that you can get advantage.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
But take a route that will not cross through his threatened square. Go wide around him, because if you pass
No,
through,
if you. Oh no, he's daggering him in the back.
I know, but you said get on the other side of him, and if he crosses all the way over to the other side, but does so by moving out of one of his threatened squares, he will get an opportunity attack against him.
Definitely doesn't do that.
Oh, I thought that as long as you stayed within, like I thought you could circle around a guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right, because he would have to move out of his threat as long as he's still
Yeah.
within. Yeah, you're good. You just had
Yeah,
to.
now you can attack.
No. You
And-
still need to move here to get the flanking. It's just you don't take an opportunity
thought he-
attack.
I thought he moved the right way.
Okay, so I'm just gonna dagger.
He moved the correct way. He's not taking an opportunity attack because he stayed close around him. So he was still defending himself as he, like you said, circled around. But
Mm-hmm.
because you still need to be directly opposite to flank, he had to move to
Is
that
it not
square.
directly opposite?
When he was up here, it wasn't.
Oh, yeah. I helped him move. Yeah.
Do I have advantage?
Yeah, you have advantage.
Now you have
attack.
advantage, yes.
Does that hit?
It
Oh,
does.
and now roll your sneak attack. Oh,
So as you pull your dagger and circle around, the guard still focused on the obvious threat, Sir Pierre. You drive your dagger. Now, it's your choice. You can choose to just incapacitate, i.e. knock him unconscious with this attack, or kill him.
I'm gonna knock him unconscious.
Okay. So as you drive your dagger deep into his side, you know that this wound, although not fatal, will incapacitate him and he is effectively unconscious and, prone, etc.
Oh,
Um,
I thought he just used the muzzle of his dagger,
he could
like
he
the
the
base, the
hilt,
base
he
of
could
it,
use the hilt to knock him out behind,
on the
but
base of his neck,
basically
right
I'm
here,
I'm
Michael.
saying that he's such a good assassin that he knows how to
He's a butcher.
yeah, he knows how to stab
Yeah.
someone enough to where, like, okay, you're not going to die, but you're also out of this fight.
Yeah, because of how like I'm probably like 20 years old in this, so I should know how to like. Since I'm like an assassin, I can like know where to hit someone and not kill them.
Right. You can either choose to end their life by stabbing them right in the, liver or something like that, or you can stab them in a non-vital area that still takes them out of the fight.
Yeah. Anyway,
Like if I had two daggers,
end your turn.
two kidneys.
Oh wait, no, you have another dagger. You can walk over to the other guy if you want, or throw it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You can throw your dagger.
Yeah, walk over.
Oh, you probably don't want to walk over there though, because he is probably no, he's not before you. Wait, is he before you?
He's not before you as far as that goes, but
Oh, I mean before me.
you can't take two attacks on one turn unless it is part of the multi-attack action, like you're dual wielding, so if you had
Yeah, he was
right,
holding two daggers.
right, correct, he is holding two daggers, so he could stab the guard twice, or he could throw two daggers, but I'm not sure what the rules say about stabbing once and throwing once, because I'm thinking those are technically two standard actions, one to make a melee attack and one to make a ranged attack.
Okay, that's fair.
I can look it up right now
Yeah.
though if
It don't matter to me.
I mean, I have all the books right here, so it'll just take me just a second.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to ask them.
So I'm not seeing that it says that it has to be the same kind of attack. So, yeah, now that I've read this and thought about it, I'm thinking that, yeah, you could probably stab somebody with one hand and fire like a light crossbow or something like that with the other, certainly like a hand crossbow. So, yeah,
Right.
go ahead, you can throw your other dagger. But again, because this is an offhand attack,
Yeah,
you,
you
you
don't.
will not get your bonus
Plus
from your
3.
modifier, right?
Can I like move over here to like get more advantage?
Dagger. No, you won't get advantage no matter where you move. You can just dagger him right there if that's where you want to be.
I mean, I'll move more over here to like get closer.
Okay. Shoot through the dagger. Click him. Click it. Click. No, that's what you have to use. Click that. It's small, but it's just click it.
Okay, so do it.
Submit. No, you don't get advantage. -3, so 4 damage.
Yep. So you throw your dagger into the guard, and it manages to deflect the blow with its halberd, knocking it out of midair like a baseball player. And then he's had enough of that, so he moves to within 10 feet of you and attacks. And is unable to connect as he is a little too close to the fire pit, and as he goes to attack you, he steps in it, and although there is no fire right now because it's noon, he kind of is off balance and unable to do anything.
I look at the guard and I sigh again heavily and I say, "You made poor choices here, sir. We could have done this the easy way. Now I'm going to have you make an even worse choice." I cast Bonfire right there. I say,
Wait, where
I
do
can
you
put these
cast
flames
Bonfire?
out, but you're going to have to surrender everything at this point in time.
There or
jeez,
there?
what are you doing? Oh my gosh. That's
Right
worse.
there on the door.
Got it.
I imagine these tents are somewhat flame retardant, but probably not completely. It's not like it's going to go up as a Roman candle or anything like that, but
Right.
it is going to, and I can use my control flame on my next turn to put him out if he cooperates. But I tell him, I say straight up, you forced our hand on this, and I was just trying to be peaceful and polite and kind, and you spat on our face. So now you got to make the worst choice.
Yeah. So just to clarify, these tents are made out of a silk-like material, and would normally go up pretty quickly, but because they live in a desert and deal with, all kinds of wildfire type situations, from brush fires and things like that, all of their tents are coated with a kind of
Flame
like
retardant.
flame retardant oil. Basically, like, oil's the wrong kind of word because most oils are flammable, but you know what I'm saying, like a viscous,
Like a wax or
yeah,
something.
yeah, which again, wax burns too, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically a material, a type of liquid, semi-liquid, that they dip all of the material in and protects it from just catching fire instantly. But yeah, no, you've made him absolutely have to decide what he wants to do here. Because the princess is the top priority. That's what they were trying to protect. But yeah.
Too bad it ain't his turn. I am going to. Guess I'll come right here, first of all. And then
Persuade the peasant.
Hey, hold on, Michael. It's not your turn. And then I am going to. What do I want to do? Oh, he's wearing. You said he was wearing armor, yeah?
Yeah, like not armor, like heavy, armor like what you're wearing and all of that, but like bits and pieces of
Medium.
armor. Yeah, bits and pieces of armor that give him some protection.
Okay. Medium armor, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna heat up his metal. So it takes the damage either way, but if it makes the save, then it doesn't drop the sword that he's holding. Oh wait, the damage is more than his life. Is it?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Does he drop his sword?
I'm about to roll and find out.
Nice.
He does. It's a halberd, but if that's what you were heating up, I'm gonna rule that there's enough metal throughout the halberd to where even with the wood haft that
I mean,
the
I could
metal
make it
on
from
the
the armor, but
no, it's good. It's
I
cool.
was
The metal for the
yeah.
halberd is enough, and I'm gonna rule of cool this one to where even if there is something about like it has to be mostly metal or whatever, like I'm gonna rule that it's enough that he still drops it.
Nice. Oh, it's still my turn. Yeah, that's it for me. Except for I'll do another intimidate check because you said that's a free thing,
Bonus. You wouldn't get a
or
bonus
or
action.
it'd be a bonus.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, can I do a persuasion check? Like, be like, now, pretty, please give us a bunch of water.
Yeah, you can.
It's probably not gonna work.
Yep. So, Michael kind of hit the nail on the head that like there's pretty much no role you could have made that he just was going to give you the water. But what I like to do in instances like this is because you rolled really high, your persuasion convinces him that perhaps there is just enough water to put out this fire, and if you help him, he will give you the map and let you leave with your life.
That's what he says?
Yeah.
Okay. End of my turn.
Damn.
Put out the fire, Mr. Mage.
This guard is
Trying to
unconscious.
scroll up. Oh, yeah, sorry. I was trying to scroll up. It wasn't working.
No worries. Michael, are you going to do anything?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna try to at least like back out of the situation because I'm not gonna kill him.
Yeah, so the changeling moves away, letting the
Actually, you know what?
You can
You know what?
knock him out if you want, but
Yeah, I'm just gonna knock him out and let's just take his loot. So I'm just gonna use my
you gotta get where you get advantage, or else you don't get advantage.
Alright, I'm just gonna go like to the side of him, like
No,
kind
you
of
gotta get right where you need advantage, or you don't get advantage.
right there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna use my dagger and just snag him back of the kid. Yeet. He won't know. Knock him back.
Does that
as
hit?
it does, and as you bring the blunt end of your dagger down on the back of the guard's head, he crumples to his knees before falling completely to the ground.
Nice. End of turn, Michael? Yes,
Yeah,
no?
now we can just take all his loot. Let's just take all his loot, man. Oh, they can't.
Apparently they don't use gold as currency. There's probably water instead, but probably still something valuable here.
The fire begins to grow.
I can use my control flames to start dousing 5 foot because I'll stop the magical piece of it, and it will just be the normal fire, and I can start doing with my control flames. I can douse 5 foot cube sections of it out.
Right. So you stop concentrating on it, and that immediately reduces it back down to 5 feet, and then you can use your action to control flames to put it completely out.
Yep.
Nice.
So let's go get that princess.
I call out to the princess and say, I hope you're not harmed. I didn't mean to scare you, but your people were being very uncooperative and unfriendly.
The princess is extremely scared and intimidated and offers to pay whatever ransom for you to just leave her alone.
What kind of currency you mean for this ransom?
The water and anything else that they have.
What else do they have?
Silks and weaponry, things.
Yeah, I'll take the halberds and the medium armor. What kind of medium armor? Oh wait, we gotta share it. So what do you guys want? A halberd or 2 halberds?
No.
Or the armor?
The
Or what do
armor
you guys want?
the armor counts as chain shirts.
Okay.
I'll just take some armor since I don't have any.
Well, you wouldn't use it. You just sell it. You don't want medium armor. You're a rogue. You want to be
Yeah.
light on the feet?
It hinders your rolls and things like that. But, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be doing much sneaking around here.
Yeah, I guess we just take as much water as we think we're gonna need for like 5 days, just in case, and be like, yo, if you follow us around, I mean, like the water isn't gonna teleport with us, like we're only gonna drink as much as long as we're here. Like, you guys want to hang out?
And then I'm going to try and, stabilize these unconscious people, put them in the shade, do what I can to help them out a little bit.
There's merchants that weren't knocked unconscious that are, starting to do stuff like that. Also, the merchants have carts all circled around here full of stuff as well.
Oh, they have stuff. Yeah, princess, we're taking the merchant stuff. You can keep your shitty stuff. Why do you have shittier stuff than your merchants?
I have silks and water. What?
Okay. We'll take the silks then. You're right. You're right, princess. We should take your silks.
Damn right. That's better. So,
how much are their silks worth?
I'll get you guys an update on that in between sessions. Just 'cause
perfect. That's way better than doing it.
Yeah, I just want to, get an exact number for how much the silks are worth and all of that. But the merchants, not only do the merchants have all kinds of rations and water themselves, but they also happen to be selling spices, things that are very rare and of a value in currency at other places that is astronomical.
Right? The Castle in the Clouds probably doesn't have that many spice makers.
Right.
I mean, it's like the people from, it's like probably the best people from like all the best cities, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That converged there before,
Yeah.
So there's probably not spice makers.
Well,
So
and
be,
even the people who do like have spice gardens and all that, like there's not enough space to grow enough spice for everybody to be able to have flavorful meals.
Right.
Now, fortunately, the mages are able to, fix some of that by, creating food and they
Making
can,
it, yeah,
right, but like,
making it grow fast.
right, but all of the supplemental food that you guys grow and everything, getting enough spices to make it palatable is, tricky.
Yeah, everybody gets like one meal a day of good food.
Right, right. And then the
being
rest
the
you have to,
scavengers that being the scavengers we are, we're going to want to load these wagons up essentially
Yeah.
with everything that we can, and then maybe potentially take this stuff back because
Oh no, it's all good. I can carry like way more than I should. Like I look, I'm way stronger than I look. How about that? I can
we could
carry all
always
this.
we
Just
could
put it
load
in a
up one of
bag
the
and
wagons
just.
with everything and hitch up a couple of these animals and have them pull it.
Oh yeah, are animals super expensive in the castle in the clouds?
well, just
I
to,
know it
just
only
to,
are possessions.
yeah, just to, be clear about this, although there are some animals, it is a privilege to be able to, have something that is not actively contributing to the survival of the castle in the clouds, be
Oh no,
taken
I
care of
meant
and
like sell
fed.
it to a butcher.
Oh, that way, yeah. I mean, I don't know if camel hump is something the people in the castle in the clouds
Oh,
are used to eating, but
it's camels?
it's camels.
Uh, well, I mean like every bit counts. Just put all the spices in a backpack. I'll carry it. And then
Yeah,
do
Sir
you guys
Pierre's
have any
like, I don't
meat?
I don't understand what the difference between meat and other meat is.
I don't get it. Like it's meat. Eat it. I don't understand what the issue is.
I think like chicken and steak.
I mean, if you guys don't want me to carry camel back to the castle, that's fine, but I was just thinking, why not
And if you
carry a
lived
camel?
and if you lived in Japan, you would think of meat as uh, whale and octopus.
Right? Yeah, so I get a whole backpack as much as I can lift of uh the the spice. Well, there's probably way less than I can lift there.
Uh, there's several, wagons that have various containers containing different amounts of spice, but I will get you a general idea of it in between sessions, but essentially how it breaks down is that although you will be rewarded for bringing this back, it's going to be like a set amount of gold that each of you is
Oh
going
yeah,
to get,
definitely.
as opposed to like, a whole list full of like all of this and all of that. Although, as an added bonus, each of you gets a spice kit that you each can have to spice up your meals yourself.
Nice. How much is that worth?
Yeah, I'll look that up and see what it's worth, but yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't
Are
matter.
we done with D&D?
I don't know. Are we?
Um,
Is
well,
that the end?
well, I did have another map, but because we're getting, pretty close and another combat might take too long, we're going to go ahead and stop here with the caveat that we can pick right back up and do the rest of this encounter the next game that everybody's available.
Awesome. So
Assuming that
Thursday?
assuming that you would like to,
Inbound doesn't
yeah,
have Thursday free.
if Sin would like to join us, that would, determine when we would, be able to do it, because whatever his schedule is, we'll work with that.
Oh yeah.
So we'll handle that outside of game. We're just gonna go ahead
Okay.
and wrap up here, where if Sinbound won't be joining us, you basically teleport back to the castle in the clouds after getting everything gathered up. If he is going to join us,
Yeah.
then we're going to play out the rest of the encounter the next session.
Yeah, and in that case, we leave the water. We're not gonna bring it. I mean,
Okay.
you know, there's no point, right? They can just make water up there.
Yeah, more or less. Anything that you guys can supplement is good, but the water is basically handled as a basic necessity.
Right.
All right. Well, this was a good
Awesome.
session. I am
Oh
so
yeah, that
glad
was
that
like filled with talking and fighting. That was pretty fun.
yeah, and there was lots of ways that that could have ended. I'm so glad that, we had a new player join us. I hope that we continue to get more and more new players and, anybody watching, jump on in. The water's fine. It's real fun in here. So,
Oh yeah, pretty
good
fun.
good
I'm I,
gaming
I
everyone.
love it. Yeah.